Hey everybody, I'm Clint Walker and this is Real Estate Appraiser Secrets, and today I'm going to talk to you about depreciation and how to slow it. So if you're not familiar with depreciation, because I think that public perception is that houses, real estate only appreciates, but the reality is that while property appreciates, the property is the combination of the real estate, which is the land, and the improvements built on top of it. So what you get is this phenomenon where the land is often appreciating because they're not making any more of it. And, as cities expand, location, commercial starts to become more widespread, and kind of everything about a certain location a lot of times gets better over time. Sometimes it doesn't get better over time, but the land component becomes more valuable over time. But what's happening to everything else that's built on that land is, like a car or like other things, it starts to depreciate over time from wear and tear and exposure to the elements, or maybe even changes in buyer demand can contribute to this. Like, maybe when the house was built, everybody wanted a two bedroom, one bath house. And as time passes, nobody wants a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. So, there's lots of different ways that the improvements there can become less valuable and less desirable. But right now we're talking about physical depreciation of the improvements. So the land's getting more valuable and the house is getting less valuable theoretically as people live there. And what I want to talk to you about today is ways to combat the physical depreciation of the improvements. And when I say these things, some of you are going to probably be annoyed with how obvious it is, but others of you might not, because maybe you live light. In the last video I talked about how in my house I live light, probably because I am painfully aware of depreciation and how costly it is on paper. But maybe this will be news to some of you. So let's talk about first the actual real world dollars and cents behind depreciation. Okay, an appraiser, when we go through appraiser school and doing our trainee period, we learn how to calculate depreciation on an annual basis. Okay, so it's a theory that when you build a house, it has a maximum life expectancy or an economic life expectancy. And depending on the quality of the house, that could be 50, 60, 70, even 100 years, depending on the quality of the construction. A lot of times, the houses that I'm in are between 60 and 70 years of expected life. So then we can annualize the depreciation of those improvements if we know how much the actual sticks and bricks and house is worth. In our example here, we're going to say that the sticks and the actual structure on the house, the actual structure on the land is worth $500,000. That excludes whatever the land is worth. So the whole property might be worth $800,000, but the appraiser can determine that the actual house is worth $500,000 of that $800,000. And so we know that the real estate is not depreciating. So we take that $500,000. We know how to calculate the life expectancy of those improvements, and then it's just a simple math of dividing the $500,000 by the number of years the house is expected to live. So let's say it's 60 years, you're looking at an annualized depreciation of around $8,000. So you buy this house new. It's got a life expectancy of 60 years, and theoretically you do nothing to it and you live in it a certain way so that the what we call the effective age, which is how old the house effectively is, and the actual age, which is how old the house actually is, go hand in hand. So at some point the house becomes oh gosh, gotta make sure I get my math right here. Let's say, 5 years later, the person has lived in the house fairly hard and done no maintenance. So the house is both actually 5 years old and effectively 5 years old. If the house has a life expectancy then of a total of 60 years, and we know that the improvements were worth $500,000, so they're depreciating $8,000 a year, now the improvements have lost $40,000 in value. Okay? That's $8,000 per year for 5 years. That's how much depreciation has happened to the improvements. Now, maybe the land has gone up more than that. Maybe the land's gone up a lot more than that. So when you or I come by to comp it, these people may still be in the black as far as your total value, but that's not because the house has been very well maintained. So to me, when I'm thinking about my own house, I'm always thinking about how much money I'm potentially losing by living hard in my house. And so for that reason, I am sort of a stickler about living light. Treating the house is nice because in a very real sense, these things are money in the bank for you. And that's why I wanted to make a video to tell you about them. And you can pass this on to your clients. You can make a little, especially for your first time buyers, you make them a little closing gift, giving them some easy tips like I'm about to give you about how to literally put money in their pocket every year in savings between when they close on this house and when they go to relist it or resell it with you. This is very real value that you can provide to them. So you can tell them, I just gave you the formula for how you can tell them, take care of your house, because if you don't, depending on the value of this property, you could be losing $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 per year just from not taking care of your property. So great ways to take care of your house are as follows, and these are also coincidentally the major culprits that I encounter on a daily basis when I'm in other people's houses. Let's go with culprit number one, maybe the worst, and this one's going to hit a lot of you in the heartstrings. Your dogs. Your big dogs that live inside, and I don't have big dogs, so I don't really know the best way to prevent them from tearing up a house, but I do know that they contribute to major wear and tear on a house. When they want to go to the bathroom, they're scratching at the back door. I see it all the time. Woodwork torn up around every door from the dog wanting to get out, and then the dog wanting to get back in. It's torn up on both sides. Dog wants to get in the bedroom where you're trying to work during the day, and so they're clawing up the carpet at the door, in the doorways, wanting you to let them in. Cats get a really bad rap for being hard on houses, but in my firsthand experience, dogs are heavier on the wear and tear. People who take good care of their cats, you'll never even know they live there. So take care of your dogs. Figure out a way to keep them from wearing out your house. Put those cute little tips on their claws that make them run soft. Maybe if you have a taste for smaller dogs are less wear and tear than big dogs. You would maybe be surprised at how many people have more large dogs, more 80-pound dogs in their houses than humans that live there. And we love them. We all love our dogs, but they are costing you big money on the house. So dogs, number one culprit. Control them or learn to love cats, and then you have to love your cat or they're going to tear up your house too. Number two, and this list this is only going to be a 3-item list. List number 2, take off your shoes in the doorway. For those of you who have had small children, I think you probably read somewhere when you have a baby about all the horrible stuff you're tracking into your house that your baby's little bare hands are touching as they crawl around. And so I think when we have babies, We get more sensitive to that from keeping our kid healthy from that standpoint. But I'm here to tell you from a real estate valuation standpoint, wearing shoes around your house wears them out. You track in dirt, you wear out the carpets, and you are, just by wearing shoes through your house, you're taking money out of your own pocket. So if you can stand to take your shoes off when you walk in your house, even if you like, my grandmother really loves, I won't even say she really loves, she demands to wear shoes in the house. She hates being barefooted for any reason. I don't know what it is. She's never really explained it, but she hates not wearing shoes in the house. If you are this person, or you have someone that you love that's this person, get them some dedicated house shoes. Shoes that never go outside, never get in the dirt, never get in the oil and the grease and all the other, crud that we step in when we're outside our houses, and consequently doesn't get tracked back into the house and across the carpets and onto the hardwoods. I think the hard soles of shoes are tough on hardwood floors. So, if those dedicated house shoes, you kind of want them to be soft soled anyway. But get dedicated shoes for inside if you've got a person who really demands to have shoes on their feet. Otherwise, go about in your socks and your bare feet and just sort of take comfort in the fact that you're saving yourself a lot of money by doing it. Number 3, this is the obvious one that we're all telling our clients all the time. Don't put off that deferred maintenance. If you got a leaky sink, fix it now. Water quickly starts to ruin any wood that it touches. But over time, it really quickly ruins everything. This is the one I've had to really harp on in my own house, in bathrooms. When you're taking showers, make sure you're running those vent fans. I go in houses all the time where the bathtubs surround around the tubs, the drywall is peeling up, the tape is peeling up, there's mildew on the ceilings. This is all just because somebody doesn't flip a switch in the bathroom to run a vent fan. If you don't have a vent fan, spend a little bit of money to get one installed if it's at all possible, because that $500 is going to save you thousands. It's money in your pocket. What else? Exterior work too. It's easy to walk past the exterior stuff and not do paint touch-ups, not fix little things outside your house, extend your downspouts, keep that water away from the foundation. This is all the stuff that as agents we know. Our inspectors are telling our clients. Everybody's telling our clients. The first 2 are the big ones. Nobody's telling you. That's the big secret of this episode. But I'm here to tell you that doing the little steps to take care of this deferred maintenance is probably going to pay you more money than you ever perceived. Because if you do these things, you can really take that effective age, like I was talking about, in the people who did nothing, in the imaginary people who did nothing for their house, where the effective age was equal to the actual age. You can move into a house and maybe it's automatically going to depreciate a little bit in that first year. But if you live light, you can all but stop that depreciation for 3, 4, 5 years after that. And so in our imaginary formula, if you live light enough to stop that depreciation, you're putting $20,000 or $30,000 into your pocket just from living light and loving on your house for the next 3 or 4 years. So I hope that helps. I hope you can turn that into some value for your clients. I personally, as their appraiser, would love to see it, because it's extra work for me to calculate depreciation and take that money away from them. So I'd be more than happy to let them keep it if they'll do the little things to make it happen. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If I can ever be of service to you, you can find me on appraiserpool.com, and see you again next time. Bye.